Alright, we have 27 more of these to go through, so let's not waste any time and go straight to the next entry. To kick off part 2 of the results, here's Dreadgear.
Horror. There's something about a good scare that gets one in an oddly excited mood.
Hashuda. Borshuda. Game.
Whether it's the adrenaline rushing through you when you're frightened, or the thought of watching someone in a situation you hope to never be in, being entertained by horror is as old as cavemen telling stories of near fatal encounters with predators of the wild.
Your voice sounds really familiar to me. Kinda like...
Just call me Mr. Butterfingers.
With these two games released, survival horror was on its feet and began to gain notoriety as more and more games were spawned to freak out gamers seeking a thrill.
Okay, that was funny.
And malnourished. This is covertly disturbing in the fact that when you look at them, you think, that is me. That is what I look like inside.
Yeah, Dreadgear, normally I like your stuff. This time around, not so much. You tried to give it a horror stylistic feel there, but it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, the background sounds sort of drowned you out, and the voice you employed, although it's meant to be this creepy thing, really just killed it for me.
Because at times this voice can be very scary, but in this case, it's very meandering and boring.
This is Hanna-Barbera's Turbo Toons. At first glance, the title leads you to believe that it is a simple Mario Kart knockoff, like Street Racer or South Park Rally, which could have served as the easiest and safest bet of making a profit. Instead, we get what I suspect to be an attempt to force children to get out of the house, which might serve as one of the reasons it was only released in Europe. But this game is set in the world of competitive jogging. Among the cast are the likes of Yogi Bear, Snagglepuss, and Hong Kong Phooey, technically making this game the worst thing to happen to Scatman Crothers besides getting an axe to the chest. As you can see, Captain Caveman makes a cameo, in what is basically a 4-year-old kid shoving a drawing they just made in your face. And this starts off the race, where the characters, instead of racing, begin to bumble about into each other's rear ends, as if they're trying to body slide by two. And my first thoughts are, if I want to see Hanna-Barbera characters ram into each other's bottoms, I can always pop over to DeviantArt. The controls are something of a marvel. When you attempt to steer your character, it's less like steering and more like attempting to moonwalk against a tornado. For some reason, the demo does feature extra levels, including one set on ice, which, considering the controls, is probably the smoothest level in the whole game.
Okay, man. Genuinely funny. I love this thing. The only thing I can point out is your sound levels, really.
You made a cynical, grumpy British guy laugh. Well fucking done, my friend.
I think my sides are hurting right now. I mean, other thing I mentioned is like the editing is like some of the images might have lasted a little too long, but other than that though, oh yeah, man, and it was well informative too.
I know, it's like he did it.
Yeah.
You cannot deny that blasting zombies into raccoon meat with rocket launchers and BFGs isn't fun, nor is the desire to pick up a berserk pack and having the uncontrollable desire to rip and tear their guts. It's one of the many factors that make Doom have a lasting legacy, and be respected as a grandfather of FPSs amongst the PC game world. Of course, not everything is devoted to just killing. Doom maintains a perfect balance between killing and exploration. It's the type of game that can turn even Ned Flanders into a sadistic knife-wielding madman. As long as you keep it in the computer, of course.
Still inside the school, but this is certainly good news, Tony, to see so many young people be able to get to safety.
Oh, that was just, I tell you,
overall, Didge, great job. I think that by giving you a time limit, you've actually become better, and you've evolved. And I've seen you go from really long, meandering reviews to what you do today. I liked it. The only thing is, there's a little gag in there that I think went on a little bit too long, and there's also the issue of your diction.
Yeah, again, great improvement over your usual stuff. Do work on addiction a little. Also, if you're going to approach Doom and Columbine in the same video, it needs to be done properly.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that it's what you do in the videos, that when you want to include like little facts and such, that you put them there. So if you want to watch the video, and it does get kind of boring watching the game, so you put that in there to help that out. So overall, good job. And of course, the Columbine thing was just a little too long.
Yeah, but overall, good job, buddy.
Retro game compilations are nothing new. Back in the 16-bit days, there were a fair few enhanced remake compilations, Super Mario All-Stars being the most popular. But for every one of these, there's one of these. Ninja Gaiden Trilogy is one of these, and not one of these.
For every one of these, there's one of these.
So here are some brief words about the Ninja Gaiden games themselves before we talk about the trilogy.
Wait, who's reviewing this again? Seth Green, is that you?
Ninja Gaiden came out right at the height of the NES's life, and boy was it something. It looked and sounded great, the controls were pretty top-notch, and it even broke new ground by popularizing the use of in-game cutscenes. Also, it was hard. Pretty hard. Ninja Gaiden 2 came a year later, and it was, well, more of the same. Yeah, it is not very good. The American version was needlessly hard, the Japanese version was pathetically easy, the controls are broken beyond belief, Ryu makes that god-awful noise. Barring that. Good games with enhanced graphics and sound. The graphics are okay.
So, Quentin Tarantino's doing reviews today, huh?
Yeah, because the Ninja Gaiden Trilogy, it inspired me to do Kill Bill movies, okay. What I used to play all the time in my childhood, because I used to watch Tony Chippy films all the time, okay. In fact, I even got inspired by the Bruce Lee films, because it's a really good thing, okay.
Nothing really to write home about, and that's kind of a shame. Going into this, you might be expecting a little more, but it really just looks a little more colorful.
You, sir, have shat on one of my favorite game series of all time. You made some very bizarre observations. I don't agree with your review. I think you made very gratuitous observations about the SNES version. Kind of, it seemed like, no. Sorry. Next.
To be completely blunt and honest, you came across sounding like a whiny fanboy.
Any of the opinions in this, any criticisms, don't feel earned at all. That it feels like that you're just whining and complaining.
Totally gratuitous. Yeah, no. Thank you, though. Alright, get on with it. Bet it's gonna be a whiny fanboy.
Najuo, or King of Demons, is a Japan-only Super
You were
Nintendo
saying?
game released
Damn.
in 1995. Now, this game wasn't terribly well known outside.
Natural balls. My balls are down here.
Now, this game wasn't terribly well known outside of Japan for fairly obvious reasons, but thanks to the web and emulation communities and retro gaming communities, it has started to pick up its fair share of Western fans. One of the most common phrases you'll find in online reviews of Majuwu is Castlevania with a gun. Now, the Castlevania comparison works as far as the graphics and horror-themed atmosphere are concerned, but when it comes to gameplay, Majuwu is markedly different. Majuwo is a much faster, much more action-oriented game than Castlevania. Your character is also a lot more maneuverable and versatile, capable of double jumping, kicking, and
it was a very solid review. I mean, it made me actually want to play Moduo, and that's ultimately what a review should do. Make a person want to check it out for themselves. Well done.
Yeah, same here. That was a great review. That's definitely more of the kind of stuff I want to see more of. Great job. Keep at it.
Never heard of this game until now, and like Garrett said, I'm interested in checking it out. It is very well informed, well paced. Well done.
It's my dick in a box.
So are we still on his intro?
I have no idea, man. Oh, I get it. It's a music video.
Guard 2000 is a game that was released by Epic Metagames in 1995 as a commercial release. It was developed by Ecliptic Software. Later on, it was released as a freeware game. It's scrolling.
Games is spaceship. Games, good game, good play.
It's time for the bonus round. It's time for the
Yeah, the intro was bizarrely long. I couldn't understand anything you said. Not for me.
You really need to work on the structure and formula of your reviews.
Boring.
Next.
Do you know these games that annoy you from the moment you start playing them? This is one of them.
And then I have to suffer through a 1 minute, 3 second unskippable intro with music that would make bats crash into walls. Here's a good example. The names of the players are not correct, even though they state often enough that this is a licensed product. The players pass to whoever they feel like, and since it takes forever to get from one goal to the other, I constantly try a long shot in hopes one of my strikers gets it, because I can't rely on passing. But the only way I can sometimes score is to try to always shoot in the bottom corner of the goal. Then, if you're lucky, it goes in.
Well, let's compare it to another football game on the Game Boy. Soccer.
This game was released in 1994, 4 years before World Cup '98, and is more what I expect from a football game on a handheld. For one thing, if you now pick your team, you can see that this game actually has the players' real names. And here's the gameplay. Passing is accurate, tackling is easy to do, the controls are easy to understand and well responsive, and it doesn't take forever to move from one goal to the other. But in order to understand what I mean, you probably have to play both these games yourself.
Bottom line, if you're looking for a football game on a handheld console, you have better options.
Quick thing there, ich und nichte. If we need to see for ourselves, what is the point of your review then? Other than that, I liked it. I liked the pacing. I liked the obvious changing of the uniforms. I docked points for a Barcelona uniform, though. No, just kidding. Very good review. Thank you.
I honestly don't follow football and have never cared about football, but I actually enjoyed that and could see the points you were making, so yeah, very well done.
He made a non-soccer fan care about soccer.
Football.
Yeah, football. Fußball, because he's from Austria.
I thought it was a good review, although there were a couple issues I had. First, I didn't quite like the fact that you kept mentioning throughout the review, like how I wish I had more time, then I felt that was I don't think that should have been included. Second thing is that I do feel that it does drag on a little bit in the middle, but other than that, though, I thought it was a good review.